I could have done
That's
that.
cool.
I just like take us live.
So you do bum 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 bum.
Bum 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 bum.
Jarran and Dom and
bum,
KHEDOORI on the podcast. Dom and Jarran are gonna
bum,
talk with
bum,
KHEDOORI about jumps. Yeah. Jarran, you're not even helping.
I know.
You're the musical guy, bro. We just left KHEDOORI hanging. This is the bum bum guy.
Shut up.
I'm just going bump.
Hey,
So we live? Did you do it? That was the cue.
Yeah, we did it.
Good. I'm glad.
Live.
Welcome
To the podcast.
People of listening to voices on talking on YouTube.
Exactly.
That's you. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm Dom. I jump on stuff. This is Jarran.
Hello. I make the music for the guy that jumps on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm Michael, who also jumps on stuff.
Yes.
He's like the
actually, as
slightly
YouTube viewers
smaller.
of this channel will have seen Michael quite a lot, and I had quite a few people on YouTube asking for Michael to come on the podcast so that they can ask him questions and we can have a chat and you can get to know him a bit better, I guess, because you just see him like flying through the air quite a lot or going but you don't actually know much more about the guy. So we'll start with what we usually start, which is the last 24 hours. Jazza, you want to take the hot mark? What's your
24 hours. What was yesterday? It was Sunday. Legit, I just like fasted all day yesterday. Oh no, wait. Starting a yoga competition now. And I've started into the advanced class. And so getting
yoga
my
competition.
Yeah, because yoga is all about competition.
Is that like they've set it up, or you're just like being competitive with yoga?
No, it's like basically it's because of Rona, it's an online competition. You go out and you do some postures, and then bam,
People vote on it.
Yeah, some shit like that.
Okay.
Like it can get pretty intense.
Like the online voting systems for free running competitions and how foolproof they always are.
I think it's more just like the straight up judges that they're doing. But
yeah, that probably sounds smarter than online voting competitions.
Well,
But but at least people in the community get to have a say with those ones, which is probably slightly more important. I just like to take the piss because things happen like bots and stuff.
Maybe that happened.
Bots, man. Oh, life would be cool.
Oh, you would troll people so fucking hard. That would be intense.
What else? Ketosis,
what else did you do? I died all day today. So basically I like bumped myself into ketosis because I was fasting yesterday, and I'm just like my body just spazzed out and was like, hey, your energy systems? Not today. Can't have any. You can eat some carbs or you can fuck off. And I was like, well, I'm not going to eat any carbs. So it said, you can fuck off. And so I slept all day.
I was going to say, what was like the repercussions of that? Did you eat anything?
Oh yeah, I ate some taro. Taro is good.
What is taro?
Is that potatoes?
Kind of. It's like a Pacific root vegetable. And it's like little hairy. It looks like a shriveled head, kind of. But basically, it's made out of this stuff called resistant starch, which means it doesn't get broken down by the stomach acid. It gets broken down by your gut bugs and then absorbed as fats as opposed to carbohydrates. Science, kids.
Have bugs in your gut. That's all I really absorbed from that was like bugs in your gut.
That's
cool.
That was
you
it.
Slept.
I slept.
Nice.
Oh, Saturday I ate though. Oh, I ate so much food. Yeah, let's not talk about that and move on to either you or KHEDOORI.
All right, KHEDOORI.
I'll go.
Last 24 hours.
Well, what is it? I trained yesterday. I did a bunch of big drops into.
Oh yeah, was that even training?
I mean, cliff jumping in.
Yeah, we went out. We were like, oh, we'll go for a train, but then the rain was coming over. We didn't know the rain was coming over. We were like, oh, we'll just go for a train, and then should we go to a spot or like a bark pile? See if there's a bark pile. and like we were with young Ivan and Declan, and they were like block pile. So we went over, and before we even got to the one, we were aiming for the one where I hung out of the tree and did the massive drop, which you would have seen in the vlog, called Battling Fear. So then we went there, and you can take the charge now.
Yeah, we went there and stumbled along a different bark pile, which had a bunch of different stories, different elevation, and just went from there, did small jumps, big jumps, and a couple other fun things that I'm sure you guys see in the future.
Yeah.
You uploaded that to IG, didn't you?
Yes.
Dude, that airtime was just like screwed up.
It really felt like cliff jumping.
Yeah.
It was sick. And then what did you do today?
Well, today sort of had a little sleepy morning, not too much. Ended up going out training with Anthony, another guy from Sydney Parkour, trains a bunch. Going out there, sort of didn't do that much and mucked around because it was wet. And that's ended up at APES, taught at APES instructor. And from there, now I'm here. That's basically my last 24 hours.
How long have you been an APES instructor?
Probably 1.5 years, roughly. No, not a long time, but a time. A time.
Short, not long, but period of length.
Yes.
Yes. How is the weather up there at the moment? Like,
it's awful.
So it's just not good for training?
Yeah, it's just piss pouring down for the last 2-3 days. Like occasional patches of dry, but not enough to like dry the ground. Just, so
go to APES. Just go to APES and train.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll elaborate on the yesterday cliff jumping to begin my 24 hours, which was that the cliff was like an actual, one that you would find in some water where there's multiple layers that you can jump off. So the smallest layer was actually kind of hard because the guys had to climb out onto it. Like so it was like a little lower lip, but you can only stand on that lip and then your butt's against the rock. So once you're down there, like pretty much want to jump because otherwise it's
getting back up is a big pain.
Yeah,
in that
big
position.
pain. And then even getting up there in the first place is what I want to really elaborate on. Was really funny because we got there, we saw it, and it's like got a cave underneath.
Oh, cool. Did you go explore the cave? Or was it just like a little bit of an
deep, like just, enough for you to kind of hide under the rock.
Yeah.
And then we're all like, okay, we'll try and find a way up. And so I went left, and then like Ivan just climbed the flat of the rock. Like he just like scaled the rock in the way. He's like, yeah, we'll just go this way. I'm like, Ivan, I can't do, like, that's so sketchy. I'm not doing that. And he like climbed the way. And by the time he'd like climbed that surface, I went up and I couldn't find a way. And then I came back down and KHEDOORI had already found a way side that was like right there. So
literally right there. Like you could see it the whole time.
So yeah, then we used that route up and then we just started bombing it. And then today I woke up at 5 and I went to work on a set as an extra. Can't, elaborate too much NDLs and that sort of thing. NDCs?
NDLs. No, NDA.
NDA. Yeah.
Jeez, we both screwed that up. Good times.
But yeah, it was good. Funny thing is one of the cast members, because it's like quite well known show, one of the cast members like recognized who I was because this is the second time I was on there. And last time he was like, hey, do you know that guy? And this time he was like, hey, it's you, big fan man. And I was like, oh shucks, but I like you because you're the star in this circumstance.
You're the star guy. Yay.
He's nice.
Can't say any words about.
Yeah. But yeah, it's always good. Super exhausting. That's why I probably, even though people, I don't know, I feel like I seem tired, but I kind of just perked up when the conversation started because
that was the coffee.
Oh yeah, and the nap I had previously, and the Red Bull I had earlier today.
Caffeine.
Yeah, caffeine will get you through.
Dude, caffeine does. It's like I try and kind of get rid of all of my little vices and shit, but like when I'm fasting, it's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna take some caffeine and you're just gonna whiz around the place. So
what you're saying is caffeine. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when you're fasting to caffeine?
We're having a hoedown right now. This is what we're doing.
That song for the channel, I think people are gonna be upset. Let me know in the comments if you want Jarran to make that legit song for the channel and get copyright infringement.
No, I never get copyright infringement.
Yeah, I mean, that's the last 24 hours really. Let's talk more about the cliff jumping because that was fun yesterday. What do you think for you the hardest part is of like the actual process? So like from ground to landing in the pit, what do you think the hardest part is for you? Where do you find the most struggle?
It's always on takeoff for me. It's just standing up there and being like, I have to jump down there. Okay.
Dude, that's the story of your life though.
I mean, first jump was pretty straightforward because it was quite low. You'd be quite relaxed. The next jump up for me was like 30 seconds, 45 seconds worth of rocking backwards and forwards on the top and being like, okay, yeah, I'm going.
It's funny because you say it's a substantial amount lower, but in my mind, the part that they were jumping off to prep was only like 2 foot, maybe 3 foot lower, which doesn't seem like that much. But when you're up there, that changes the game. And also this pit had like angle of entry issues, so you couldn't like just hit it because it was kind of wet and condensed. So you had to hit it like at the side where it would fall out under your feet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's another thing we should talk about.
So we already know. There were multiple stories to jump from the cliff, and in the end, we actually wanted to go from the tippy top of the cliff, which
the tippy top, huh?
If you look in either of the cliff ends, it's like my reaching height above where we were jumping off. I did one jump that was like halfway up towards that and a little bit back. Right.
Screw it, I'm gonna bring it up while you guys are talking.
Yeah.
But that takeoff straight down.
Yes.
There is you can't jump out of the pile. You're basically taking the whole brute force of the impact straight.
Oh, it's the scariest one.
Like that. And when you're at the top part and you're looking straight down on it, it doesn't look like a mound of dirt. It just looks like a flat
looks like
pile.
A puddle.
Yeah, it just looks like a puddle, like a little brown patch that you're gonna land in. And so you have to inherently trust everything that your brain's telling you not. Like you're looking at it, it's going, you can't land on that, that'll hurt. Like, but the pit takes so much out of it.
Oh man.
And like really, it's all, I think, angle of entry into how you hit those jumps. Because a lot of people in my comment section are just like, oh my god, that looked like it hurt. Oh my god, the roll, blah blah blah. I'm thinking, how many of you are hitting dirt piles at like terminal velocity? There's a certain technique that comes with like, it's not a linear roll technique or a specifically good parkour roll technique, because that's not a linear parkour move. You can't imagine trying to like normal roll on that.
It's too hard. The mulch actually bounces you back up, and the best way to take the drop in mulch piles is to spread out as much as you can and disperse. Like the ground
once
soft,
the feet hit, you kind of and that also I think is safer because you're not then taking the impact onto any part specifically. Because if you plan to like load your shoulder for the roll and then suddenly you hit the ground too hard, you're just going to blast your shoulder. Yeah. So you got to take it with the legs, let the initial shock of like the pit dig in, and then that way as well. Because if you're going for something like specific, your leg could get caught. But if you do it this way, you can just stick it and be bounced out.
I guess we're not saying land on your side. We're saying feet, then like controlled fall onto side, and roll out as best as you can.
Side to back is what we were recommending. So Declan, who is like I'd say least experienced with like one height drops, but two just time training there. That's what like we ran him through how to hit the pile, and he just did preparations, and then he did it super safely. And then on the second one, which you'll see in the vlog, his foot slipped on the takeoff because it started to rain. And like the second drop that they were doing, you have to jump to the pile. Like it wasn't like the first one, you can kind of just and you would hit the pile. This one you have to jump like 10 foot or so.
A little bit, quite a bit, yeah.
Like
it's a jump onto the pile.
Yeah,
what was the main thing though? Like what was the top jump? How much did you have to jump out there?
Oh, you didn't get
almost nothing. It's like a step. You can just walk off the edge and still make it to the pile. And like speaking of those top jumps, I actually really want to go back and do the jump that Dom did from the top corner. I found myself
and it just rained him out before he got like a real He was like 3-5 minutes. He was up there like, okay, maybe. I'm looking back and forth, and then it just goes.
Yeah, basically what happened was I was on like filming a lot of people, pushing Declan and Ivan to both do these jumps, which was so sick. I stayed up there for quite a while and sort of lost the feeling for what it felt to land on a mulch pile.
Yep.
So when I stood on the highest point that I could have jumped off, or second highest, that fear really settled in because I forgot what it felt like to land in that mulch pile. Then when I was hopping down, I was like, bro, I should have done it. It's so easy. It's so soft. And
yeah, I think like that's the thing to explain to a lot of people as well. Like people are like, why are you doing it? One, it feels wicked. I think that the main thing is like you feel superhuman being able to jump like from a ridiculous height and then just hit the pile and receive no pain, no damage, no injury whatsoever. Like it's a wild sensation. But then also that's the fact is like, yeah, it's a pile of mulch. It's a soft, big cushion of like
it's like a really fluffy crash mat. I guess is the best way, like a really squishy, safe crash mat.
And I think it's safer than a crash mat because if you have like extra weight going one way, the pit's gonna give for you as opposed to like a crash mat which has a certain amount where it can go.
And that's it. Did you have to like regroup any of the mulch?
We kind of kick the top layer back so your feet don't have feet traps.
Like obviously, I'm sure over time it's gonna get smaller, but just the main thing was feet traps. Make sure that you don't get stuck in those.
Man, you could send that to like, what is it? Wicked Slams on Instagram, like. Yeah. Oh, that.
I definitely could send Declan's to Wicked Slams. I'll recommend it because like he came in and like.
It looks so bad and so funny.
He got his feet there about the same time that he got his chest there. So it was like
he like belly flopped.
Oh wow.
But he was fine. He was like
he got up straight away. He literally like somehow rolled out of it fine.
He came up and he's
he
like,
bounced.
whoa, my worst fear happened and I was fine. That's cool.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think if any of you out there just do see a mulch pile,
jump on it
with the small drop. Try jumping onto it and see how soft it is and see how much it takes away your impact. And also even one thing we were talking about on the same subject is like sand. If you can get like a pile of sand that's, maybe 10 centimeters high, like a mound, right? You can use that for big drops to take away your feet impact. So say you're doing like a drop for a shoot or something like that, and they want you to do it multiple times. Instead of getting a crash mat there, which will ruin the shot, you get a little
bit of sand.
Pile of sand so your feet don't get slammed when you hit the concrete.
And then instead of the impact, all you need to deal with is like the distribution of momentum.
Yeah, or even if you ground tap like you do as well, because you've got that moment. So,
well, if we're going to talk about high diving into things, let's move things over to Eastern Europe.
Let's high dive into the next.
No, Russia. Like those guys, and they just jump off like buildings into snow piles.
That's where probably like subconscious inspiration came from, was watching these guys like be able to jump off like 10-meter buildings into these piles of sand piles of snow and just be fine. So then they could try crazy shit. Like, I really want to find a spot where I can try double lay out onto a pile of mulch.
That'd be sick.
So now I can rotate it, but it's like if I do slam on my face, I want it to be able to like not get broken.
You know what? If you could wrap it at that spot.
It's just scary. I like to go further
it is
back.
Scary.
Like I like to
It's not straight up. It's not a movement. You just want to you could even send dub castaway because the mulch pile is so close.
Yeah, I think dub castaway would be like an easier send than dub lay there because of the distance. Like when you do flips off height, for me personally, I like to travel a little bit. I think it helps on the landing be able to disperse the right impact. Like for high doubles or like high flips, like that's exactly what we're talking about with jumping off the highest rock compared to jumping off like the rock that was further back.
It's a lot easier to jump out of further distance and roll out than it is to take a straight drop down, both at the same height. One's just easier jumping further, the other one's way more impact.
angle of entry is everything with drops. You heard it here first, except not probably first because it's like obvious. But yeah, that's what I reckon. Angle of entry is like everything. And then from there, it's also learning how to roll, which Michael doesn't like rolls.
Yeah, rolls aren't my biggest fan. I prefer just like either taking it or ground cats, which is the worst way to explain stuff. But I can roll.
Longevity wise, I think rolls are important.
Yes, they
personally.
are.
Like people are always
They
like,
are.
how do your knees still work? It's like because I never really break 90. I just roll.
Mm.
And then my shoulder and my back lump are the things I have to worry about, not my,
Nah,
not
back
my
lump.
knees.
I do find that I roll a lot if I'm doing flips, especially flips onto something. I'll roll out instead of a ground tap because the momentum is a lot easier to
Yeah,
carry.
we just
through.
go with that momentum. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even if it is like a long running jump, if it's a straight down drop, I'm still working on that tech to roll out because I'm not used to popping in that direction, I guess. Which is another reason why I didn't do the best roll on that drop over the fence. If
which
you
is
remember
the
that
last
one.
vlog, which
which is in the last vlog.
such a bad idea.
Such a bad idea, yeah. And further distances I will roll, and when it's straight down, I find it much harder to set in the right position, and I need to practice that more.
Yeah. I feel like I used to take a lot more stuff, and then like as I got older and not even like more tentative, just lazier. Like I'm like, yeah, I don't care if I like, you know, I'm just gonna roll because it's way easier for me to just fall out of this than it is to actually bother taking it. That's it's like just like it's not because I'm like less strong. I'm probably more strong. It's just like I'm more used to rolling, and like I do less big flips onto concrete now just for longevity's sake. Like I can do them. It's just I now like don't hit those dirty big concrete flips as regularly. It's not out of conscious effort.
Out of safety.
Yeah.
Just
I wish I had his 18-year-old bounce back.
bounced on the floor.
That's probably one thing that's been like interesting, and maybe you have some like thoughts to weigh on it, Jarran, but like generational gap between not only in like parkour where there's like 10 years difference in like what the culture is and what the community is and like all that sort of thing from when we were coming up, but also like just generally like when we're hanging out, and now it's way less because we've hung out more and like bridged our normality gap, but
yeah,
there's still like points where like I'll say something that's way out here old time. He's like, I don't get it, like reference wise, or even just like you should see him pick up every camera or like even like he fixed, see last week it was shuttering, guys. He fixed that. I didn't fix that.
No, he didn't. I told him how to fix it.
Yeah, but like but that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't have even got that far, Jarran. You can't like get me to manually.
Well.
Yeah,
tech and you don't go very well together. That's why you've gone through how many?
5.
Yeah,
we're on to a 5th one.
I've got to get the 6th one because I haven't.
The camera is. I broke the camera on the 5th one.
You broke it.
I dropped it from this high. I dropped it from this high, and it just.
It's like those GoPro Maxes.
Toast?
Yeah, the way they're built, they're like toast, man. Like the only thing that bulges out is the lens you need, and I'm not going to carry around lens caps that distort the vision slightly. Do you know what I mean? Like they're like, oh yeah, you can use these lens protectors, but they distort the lens, and I'm like, but why the fuck would I use that then?
What do you mean they distort the lens? What does this mean?
It's a little bit foggier, and like
so you need to clean it afterwards.
They warp the footage in a certain way that
isn't as crisp.
Yeah.
Oh, so these things are like caps, but you can shoot through them. Sorry, I thought just the rubber caps that it comes with.
No.
Like
So they're like a semicircle bubble that fits over the lens, but it like distorts it in a way.
Yeah, makes it almost gives it like Gaussian blur. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Gaussian blur.
Gaussian.
You guys get it. It's all good.
Yeah. But yeah, so now we're up to GoPro 6, but that vlog's coming soon. Someone asked me the other day, like, how far are you behind with the vlogs? I realized I'm like exactly a month because the vlog I released from last week was the first 5 days of July.
Yeah. big month.
Yeah.
Watch out.
But also, there, can't tell you yet, we'll announce this soon, but like, there may be a slow up in vlogs for a month period where I get to catch up anyway. So, this you'll get all the content eventually. Sorry for the delay in that.
Well, people
All right, Jen,
need
do you
their
have any
dumb
questions for
fix.
Michael? Typically.
Let's delve into history, because I wasn't there when you were coming up. So when did you start jumping?
I'll start at the beginning with a bit of my background as well. Yeah. So when I was in around year 3 and 4 of school, I did a tiny bit of gymnastics, but to the point that I couldn't do a backwards roll. I was very low level, very young, and really got bored of it, really didn't like it. Left gymnastics and got into skiing and moved from normal skiing to a skiing type called telemarketing, which
Telemarketing.
Well, not telemarketing, which is the phone call stuff, but telemarketing is cross-country skiing. So
oh man, you didn't even do the cool kind of skiing.
It is I did the What's
no, just the ones with the jumps and the flips and stuff.
I could do a 180.
That doesn't count.
That was my best thing I could do. But pretend this is the ski. This is your foot that goes on top. A normal ski won't allow you to move your foot, but cross country and telemarketing lifts the heel up. So to turn, you need to lunge, which is where a lot of my knee conditioning came from, I think. From there, I quit skiing.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I had to lunge all day.
What?
But
squatting and like dexterity wise, he's always had really good like ankle flexion and like taking off from a low squat.
Can you do an Asian squat?
Yeah.
Well, fuck you. All right, good.
So I moved on from skiing, and where'd I go? I did one or two parkour lessons with Jump Squad, which was an old Sydney parkour.
Jump Squad. What did you do it out at the out at the warehouse?
No, I actually had like a little lesson with George.
Okay.
Who was the
Was it a private?
there. Yeah, it was a private. I wasn't comfortable being with everyone else.
Oh, cool. That's interesting.
Also, my mum wouldn't drive me that far to go to the lessons.
Fair.
But
that's really funny that you weren't comfortable originally, because now, from my experience training with you, you prefer to train with a group of people, or training by yourself would be way more boring for you.
I find it really hard to train alone because I feel like my mind shuts down ideas and things. I'll look at something and be like, oh, I'll wait until this person gets here, or I'll wait until someone gets here. And I guess it's either for a subconscious safety reason, like if I get hurt, I just want to make sure that someone's there, making sure I'm okay, or just for the sake of someone just being there. I guess I'm not too sure, but I just find it really
for the sake of someone being there.
That's camaraderie.
Lovely.
Camaraderie, because I'm sure you've made quite valuable friendships through parkour, and like part of parkour for you is also that kinship or like bond that you form or rapport you form with people from training, which I totally get, because like most of my closest friendships have also been people that do parkour at a high level, because we just relate.
It's fun.
It's
just a fun sport.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to how I got involved with.
No, we finished that. So now let's go to the next part where.
Okay, we'll go to the next part then.
All right. So when did you get over that initial frustration phase? You know, the thing where like your tech just sucks, blah blah blah, and then you're like, oh wait, I can start to push this a little bit. Like, this doesn't feel awkward anymore. This just feels like we're doing something that's fun.
Yeah. For me, parkour felt like it came quite naturally. So I found it technique was kind of difficult at the beginning, But I found, for me, if I watch someone do it, I can mimic it almost 100%. And that's something that I'm pretty good at. And from there, I sort of progressed and was able to push myself and start learning a lot, and started getting bored in classes and asking the instructors and being really annoying because I wanted harder challenges.
That makes sense.
So circling back again to what you were saying earlier about not being able to push yourself when you're by yourself for safety reasons, because that one definitely I've experienced. But a lot of people out there, especially like we even know like Flesh and stuff like that, didn't have that choice of training by themselves with that like safety option, unless something they're doing in their backyard and that sort of thing. Do you think that, like the switch Jarran was talking about, if there's any, you're saying there wasn't much of a switch over for parkour, do you think there'll be a time where you switch to like a level of awareness where you're like, I'm confident enough to try the challenges I want without risking that sort of personal injury? Or like, do you think there's a time that you'll be, because I know now, because the style of training you do is quite mental, so until you lock off the ability to do that shit, like shoot from the hip kind of thing, there'll be a period. Do you reckon there'll be a period of time, or do you reckon it'll kind of be something where you just train different shit when you're by yourself?
I definitely find that I train different stuff when I'm by myself. I'll always result to flow more when I'm by myself, and I'll create something more flowy. I don't really tend to even look at the bigger jumps because I'm just in this zone of flowing and moving around the objects instead of hunting massive challenges, because I prefer to do that with my friends. Sort of thing.
I get you. Yeah, there's definitely something about the gas, and this is what I experienced in London as well, with like Jade and Alfie.
Gas up.
Joe. Yeah, with all the Run LDN boys, and like even Team Fat have that now. Is like there's an excitement to doing this stuff together, like and finding these things and then achieving them. Like as a group, you get this kind of high-spirited optimism to what's going on, and I think that hype can literally change people's training sessions to do more. Like, I mean, you'll see soon in some of the vlogs coming up, but the Wharf got like smashed by the scene recently. Like heaps of people doing heaps of new shit to the Wharf, just because like the younger guys came through and had this like wave of confidence with it. And I think, during the training sessions, like the pace was set to go a little bit, and it really does make for an awesome vibe, an awesome day when you just got that like,
it was really cool, very cool day.
All right, a question on the whole Wharf thing. Did the Wharf start getting actually
demolished?
No, not demolished. The other one. Who was it? Ollie was like actually building parts onto
fixed.
the Wharf.
So that is a long-ish story, not really. But one night, cut a bunch of stuff off the Wharf. From there, we wanted to cap the top of some poles so we could essentially do jumps from pole to pole on the Wharf on a section that most of you guys actually haven't seen, I'd say, unless you're in Sydney.
It's relatively unshot, like since 2014 or 15.
Because it's unjumpable.
It's just getting so rickety and so dodgy that like to do nice parkour out there is really like you have to do it like a sketchy climbing mission. Not climbing, but like you grab onto the pole when you land on, and like you have to crane certain ones. And
if you're going out there, the chances are you will go in either from falling in because of a jump or trying to do one of the massive jumps from standing, because they are big jumps. They're not small.
But what about sharks?
There's no...
Yes, always the sharks, and also the naughty swimmers. That's something that you have to be aware of.
The naughty swimmers.
Yeah, I don't know exactly, just ambiguous naughty swimmers. Joe Hendo commented on it, saying that you have to be aware of sharks and naughty swimmers, and I thought that was very factual.
Yep. It's a little bit suggestive. Go on.
Another main reason for capping off the top of those poles, there is actually plyos, but there's also a 20-foot jump to one of the poles. You have as much run up as you want, take off wherever, and basically 20-foot jump over water to a thin pole.
So
And
you could do like a 12K run up to 20-foot jump if you needed, like as much run up as you want, really.
the most effective way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you just run 12K and then right at the end of it, dead sprint and hope you make it 20K onto this really precise object that if you don't hit, you may maim yourself.
Maybe
And
maim
go.
yourself.
And go. In.
Bye.
Yeah, that hasn't gone through just because, anything where you have to like
Do
DIY
something.
it, build your spot and stuff like that, it feels like such a process compared to like, oh, I can just go over there and jump on that's already there. So I feel like we just kind of shy away from the lengthy process. And also, I mean, Oliver Lister
Has a lot of work.
he's the one that has the measurements, wanted to take charge, has the, I guess, what's the practical way of doing it. But then, like, he's busy, so can't rush the man who's busy. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, makes sense.
So it goes. Oh.
That's how life goes.
Should we field questions from audiences?
Yeah, you got any questions? Type in the questions. Oh, someone's getting all upset.
Oh, upset. That's good.
I don't know, and they're all like swearing and stuff in the chat.
Good old swearers. There we go. Make sure there's no volume on that. KHEDOORI. Yeah, so if you have any questions for us, now is the time. Hit us with the comment section. Any specific questions for myself, KHEDOORI, or Jarran?
Let's
Um,
roll up. What is in the thing? Not much. Backflip for Dom? Question mark? No one ever asks you to do a backflip.
I probably do a backflip. You just gotta frame it right.
You're gonna go out of frame, but he's good.
Oh man, I'm gonna tuck right here. Watch, I'm gonna do the backflip right here. Mostly because I don't have much power in my legs. Sorry.
Yay!
There's a shop that's closed downstairs. So I got to watch that back too. Solid.
Yeah, sick back.
Yeah. first backflip on the podcast. Yeah, motherfucker.
Oh man, kids are gonna ask you to do the backflips every podcast now.
Not doing that. I usually have headphones on, so
Yeah.
as my friends call you at my party, TikTok man. Sam's cool. Sam, next time invite me to your birthday. I wanted to come. When I saw things, I would have loved to celebrate your birthday with you. Next time, I want to come.
Here's an actual
That
question.
weird older guy at your party jumping around. Sam's like, how old did Sam turn?
Sam. Oh,
Whoa, you were at his party, bro. You should know this.
I'm
Sam,
sorry,
if you're
Sam.
watching, he doesn't even know how old you turned. I think Sam turned 12, but I'm just
No.
guessing. What? You
That's-
didn't- What?
I
Maybe
don't
you
think
turned
it's
10.
12. I'm not.
Oh, man.
Sam, comment. Tell us how old you
That
turned.
doesn't count. You're a bad
please.
friend. Went to his birthday like 2 days ago. Doesn't know how old he turned. Just typical KHEDOORI. Not a details-oriented person.
All right, here's your question. Here's your
Are you
question.
saw? Okay, I got a first question. Hold on, you go first.
All right, from Moofy. From Moofy. I've been making videos for 7 years. Got nearly 1,000 videos with 4K subs. What are your tips on growth?
You gotta get the seed. You gotta plant it in the dirt, yeah, and then you gotta water it, and then like nourish it, give it some sunlight, and then hopefully it'll grow. That's what he meant, right?
10 out of 10
Yeah.
answer.
So are you gonna break down this analogy, or you good?
No, that was tips on growth.
Oh,
Like,
right.
He told me all these things about him, which are fantastic, and he asked me for tips on growth.
All sick.
Okay, so also what you could do is eat a good, healthy, balanced diet during your formative years. That should help with growth.
But if you're over 18, you're done. Sorry.
No. People stop growing a little bit later than that,
No,
depending
really?
on their life cycles
Oh,
or their bicycles.
bicycles is...
Someone asks, "Are you guys sore from urban cliff jumping yesterday?"
Not at all.
You don't feel anything?
Not a thing.
I definitely feel like, as far as not like normal training tension, I was a little bit sore in my glutes. I had to stretch them quite a lot today, and I was a little bit sore in my I was like tighter in my shoulder region. I had to do quite a bit of like release stuff there. Nothing that was like I couldn't train or anything. Just like that's what I felt personally. You know, I usually have muscle pain from training regardless, but it's always in different sections depending on what style of shit we do. All
I
right.
love how we match up on sore spots because we do
Yeah.
similar thingies.
Yeah, sometimes during training spouts of like similar things, because no matter what, like when you hit things the same, you have the same outcomes, and then we have the same injuries for a little while. But then I fell over, and then I've had a wrist. Ninja Warrior some too. I don't personally, I'm not that into Ninja Warrior. It's not my jam, mostly because I'm not very good at holding my weight up with my arms. People think it's like all jumping, but it's not.
But what about hashtag ultimate tag?
Oh yeah, we're gonna try and see what happens with that as that releases over the summer. Summer in Australia? So yeah, it'll be summer by that point.
I think if both of you are in it, KHEDOORI is
awesome.
gonna tag you because he is smaller and
Yeah,
he's smaller and faster. Like
yeah, I mean, him. He's a leaf machine.
yeah, and Dom's just kind of like a brick that flies through the air.
Yeah.
All right, say that all again. What?
I was saying, if anyone should be playing tag professionally, it should be us.
Yeah.
So Dom's recommendation is that we should play it professionally.
Oh yes.
As much as yeah, so that was something that was also like the recent Jimmy the Giant's parkour journalism on the Ultimate Tag on the American version, which is with Fox and all that malarkey and whatever. But yeah, I thought he does really interesting articles, man. He's really
he's got good insight
and very entertaining. Like, there's not a lot of like journalism videos that I can watch, like topical journalism videos. I think Marvel or like video or like comic book breakdowns or TV show breakdowns with Eric Voss. That's my guy, Eric Voss on New Rockstars. Yeah, shout out Eric Voss. Probably would never watch my podcast. And then I can now watch like NBA ones, and then now Jimmy actually provides content like that for parkour, which of course I can digest because parkour.
Does it in such a nice way as well.
Killing the game. I saw you do backflip to a rail. How hard is that? Really old video, if you're the one I'm thinking of. Oh yeah, 2018. It's not that hard if it's low to the ground, because then you have like zero consequence. If it's like ankle height, then it's fine. You can just do it. But really, backflip is the easiest flip pre, in my opinion, to physically do, because you can see it for the longest. You like them, don't you?
I like backflip prees. I really need to start drilling them some more and taking them outside and actually doing them. But I like them.
I'm going to pitch this next question straight to you, Jarran, and then we'll go around the circle.
No, can we start first with, yes, I have the question of you are a bitch. Bam. Like,
he's the most bitch.
Yeah. Then...
Bam, question answered. All right, Jarran, and because you do train from time to time, what move do you find the hardest to do or have constant struggles with?
Fucking climb ups because I'm a bitch.
What?
Climb ups because I got no lats. I got like 0 lats. Do you remember the first time we trained together and I tried to do the climb up at St. George's Wall and you have it in a video and you're like, because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And fast forward, I still don't.
Yeah, I mean, actually, that's something I've always battled with, is climb ups, because I have long noodly arms, and I never, like, except for one period of time where I had a fractured foot, I didn't really ever dedicate training to, like, time training to them. So
I remember when you couldn't like muscle up, and you could only kip up. Yeah, I know, but like
That's what
you can.
You're saying now. Like I remember when. That's
I remember
now.
when now you couldn't do muscle ups.
Oh, nice. 10 out of 10.
But then there was that time at Santorini where you were like full gassed. I think it was in the comp, and you just grabbed the bar and you're like, hup. It was like, it was the best time I'd ever seen you do that. But that's probably because
I could jump and reach.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So yeah. I remember. It was versing Joel in the round where I wanted to go back onto the roof to do the roll bomb to finish. Yeah. Because I remember like thinking it through. I did like a half turn jump muscle up. You know how?
Oh yeah.
But it's because I was tall and the bar was short, so I couldn't
makes sense.
on that bar. So I just had to get the jump right, and then I was here, and then I could just go shift, and then like did it. Yeah, I got it. So I was like, cool. Yeah. That's the thing. If I have momentum, I'm pretty okay. But like static hold stuff and even static like jump stuff, not as into it.
Yeah. Is that your answer?
No, my answer was going to be twisting, like double twisting. I think double full, like double full is the one for me that is so like tinkery and off and on, and I can do them on right and left, but when the mood strikes, like, or if the right spot, there's like not like every other move where I can kind of work it down to a certain fine point.
Yeah, or get it on lock. Like, dude, you like 4 years ago, you had the thing, you just unlocked them, and it was like, now it's been off and on since then.
Yeah, and like if it was today, I could probably do it, but then like I don't know, in like a week or so, maybe it wouldn't work, and also not to the level I wanted at. What about you, Michael?
My one is funny. Wall flips. I can't wall flip.
Just like basic.
I can't do a wall flip.
When were we talking about that last week?
I think I mentioned it. Yeah, it's just when someone was like talk shit about KHEDOORI, I was like, you can't do a wall flip.
I can't do a wall flip.
That's
that thing where it's like you've seen it before. They run up the wall, but they don't like kick backwards, so they kind of gainer into the wall and then hit their head on the wall.
Yeah.
They just don't, like, he doesn't understand.
Wait, did you hit the back of your head on the wall?
So I can do a very, very, very bad wall fall better than I can do a wall flip.
Because it comes out to the side.
Because I can just lean over my shoulder and then twist.
Do you know what that means? That Adam Wood has like a trick on you now.
Yeah.
He's been doing two-step wall flips, man. Two-step wall flips.
He's done 3, bro. He's done 3.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people
Adam's
beat me in a wall flip battle.
But yeah, so that's one of Michael's like random weaknesses as well, because he can do like side prees, back prees, full twists, you know, every other. Then he can't do it like a wall flip. You can do wall side, can't you?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, he can do wall inward side, but he can't do a wall flip.
I feel like you need to get those on lock though, especially if you're going to try for competition. They seem like the biggest filler.
Even if not, I personally think you should work on your weaknesses
for sure,
as an athlete, because you know then they're gonna make you better in the long run.
All right, question: can you wall Arabian?
Me?
Yeah.
I've never tried.
Yeah, they're easy.
I haven't
you should
tried.
go with that. Do it.
I reckon they want to.
I'll try that.
But he's not a fronter, so there is types of flippers.
Right.
If you've already commented your question, you should comment what type of flipper are you? Are you a back flipper, a side flipper, a front flipper, or a twister? Because some people are twisters. Like that also refers to if you're like off axis.
Like a twisty packet.
Yeah. I'm a fronter, obviously.
I'm a side flipper.
Joe's a back flipper. Joe Scanget's a back flipper. So now you have 3 contrasts there. Yeah. Every move that specializes in like
is back flip.
Oh yeah, right. Like
pass back, worm back,
goggle, blah 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 blah.
Yeah. All that stuff. He does core snap, backflip.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, what type of flipper are you guys?
Do you think you could do Souk Arabian?
Yes, but it would be very slammy.
It'd be very into the floor.
Yeah, because by the time you rotate, you're coming off and then leaning forwards. So your trajectory for when you huck down is going to huck into the ground.
I think that might be easier for you.
Nah. Suk
Still full, so you can just wrap it over your shoulder.
Because I've done the round off full for like the most period of time. That would be the most natural set.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I get you.
All right, moving on to questions. Where was that? Oh, quickly, where was the?
That's the same one I was gonna read out. It's in Tunks Park in North Sydney. Well, Camaray technically, North Sydney greater area.
Because it is a mulch pile. Don't know how long it's going to be there for.
Yeah, it might be gone. Yeah, the other one that was in that park has already been moved on. So there's like, they're all over. And I think this is the period of time that they're going to be in Sydney just before autumn comes in, where they're going to remulch everything because of like weather. So if you're out and about in Sydney and you see a mulch pile, send me a photo and then I can see if it's worth venturing to jump off.
Mm-hmm. All right, so how do both of you something with your ankles? How handle massive impact on the ankles, and do you do it differently? I guess it comes down to rolls and shit.
Well, I guess this first step would be mentally, right? Because right now, like, even though we do the same jumps, we're still in like a different like battle process to attack each thing, you know, because like mine's a lot more off the cuff.
Go straight away
before I even like think about the fear aspect. I just think, oh, this is possible. All right. And I often am like, KHEDOORI's like, okay, I'm getting ready to film. Like, KHEDOORI, like almost like hurry him to film me so that I don't like
start thinking about what you actually have to do.
what I'm about to attempt. Whereas KHEDOORI, because he doesn't have that experience and trust in like that
I feel like that's
switching on, he does a lot more thought, but usually does it a lot cleaner.
Wow, it's almost like you have it back to front. Dom has it, it's possible, need to go before the fear, where you'll go, all right, well, is it possible? Fear. Okay, it's possible. And then go.
Yeah, I used to break down jumps very long. Like it took a long process for me to break down jumps, but I would actually get up and actually do the same jumps. But that used to be a 30-minute process for me, and now it's down to 5, 10, 15.
Sometimes, it just depends.
But it depends on the jump. To be honest.
Sometimes I have to even be like, get a little bit like, come on, bro, you're just being stupid about it. Like kind of reason with him in like a more like stern way, as opposed to be like, you got it. Yeah, I have to be like, oi, you've been there for 10 minutes. You're being ridiculous. Hurry the fuck up, kind of thing. Like,
and then I'm just like, you know what? He's actually right. And then I just usually go on that one and end up getting it straight away.
Yeah. Or like, okay, I sent it now, I can do it, kind of thing. Which is another aspect of like our style of training, is like doing a send for information. So doing like a safe send to learn what you're going to need on the other side. Like if you've got a jump where it's possible to bounce and land on your ass, maybe just run and hit it.
At least
bounce and land on your ass.
To understand, because in the end, the more information you have, the better you're going to do on the jump.
Yeah.
So you checks and balances and then.
And you can do that by doing it as long as you know how to attack safely. Like that's the real deciding factor there. So it's not knowing how to send, it's like knowing how to fail or like undershoot, knowing how to undershoot things or overshoot things. Just
knowing how to undershoot, overshoot, and even if something goes wrong, be safe.
Yeah, adjust so that then you hit it and then you still like don't die. So you're like, oh, this is how I do it next time.
Yeah, because you feel it as soon as you've gotten like that certain thing. And sometimes it's just like literally the run up, you've taken off and you're like, oh yeah, there's the landing. Because when you're back from the takeoff, you're like, it looks a long way away. As soon as you're on top of it, you're like, oh, actually it's closer than I thought. So then when you bounce it, it's like, I got this.
Jumps from the end of the run up rather than the beginning. If I get to the beginning of the run up where I need to take off from, it's scary. I'm like, I have to jump to there, and then when I'm in ages away, it's like, it's just there. That's easy. And then I just run at it.
Yeah. Because then by the time you get to the takeoff, you haven't had time to register that you need. I'm
actually jumping.
Yeah. You're just like, oh, my body goes this far.
I can run and jump. Yay.
somebody asked, and this relates to this, I guess, what's the scariest jump you've done? And I guess yours would probably be one of the ones from our videos, from one of the videos this year. What's the scariest jump for you?
One of the jumps that took the most mental preparation for me to do is probably the one at Middle Head. 2-story drop in the middle, about almost 20 feet across. 25 feet across to a slant. And that slant.
That was a big.
Was that first day of the year?
It was basically like in the first days of the year.
I think it was literally January 1st. I believe it was the first day of this year. Yeah. And like we spent quite a while.
It was hard. It was a hard mental push because landing on a slant's a little bit weird compared to landing on a wall.
Also, do you think the fact that there was nothing but stone and concrete around the entire jump made it harder for you? Because like there's no way you could come off and like hit grass on one side or have like a safe way.
It's not like you can bounce back and land on your feet, because you bounce back and there's a story drop behind you.
So you have to take it and stop, and that kind of worried you a little bit.
I could have actually done the arm jump on that, but I got so excited that I just let go over the wall out of excitement. And I could have like climbed up. That would have been so cool, but whatever. In the moment, excited. It's sick.
Yeah. For me, I think the scariest one that I still recall, like fear-wise, is a front flip I did in Munster. It's in a video called Parkour Jaws, which is somewhere there. It's funny because Parkour Jaws is the one with Leon 25, but Leon 25 was nowhere near the scariest front flip I've done.
Even if you
probably
screwed
doesn't
yourself
even rank
up.
the top 10.
Leon 25 is just a stand for distance.
And like I knew I had the in the bag because I'd done this scariest front flip, scariest jump ever, like a week before. But it was like I had to dive 18 foot at least to make the distance. And you had like a 4.5 step run up with a little bit of a curve, and there was like a bin in the way. And then when you dive, you have to avoid like a tree and a lamp post like on either side of you. So you have to kind of like hit the aim right, but it's blind, but until you dive. So you just sprint, dive with what you have what I've worked out by walking like 20 times. Like, I think this is the way I have to go. And then you just commit to that takeoff and hope for the best. Man, it was fucking scary. Like, even in the air, I was still kind of scared. Like, most times I take off and then I'm like,
zone out.
Yeah. Like, the instant content of like, not content, like, knowledge of like,
this is how it goes.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you've done it
switches
before.
On. But this one, I did, like, oh my God, this is still so scary. I had to like reach out to make the distance at the front. And I was like, whoa. And because, the landing was really small. And if I overshot the landing as well, I hit a brick wall. So I had to like,
everything.
There's just so much going on. And I think for me, variables is what makes things scarier. So like people are like, oh my God, how do you jump to the wall? I'm like, it's because it's a very consistent and simple structure. So it's like block of concrete, block of wood. That's all I have to fuck with.
And water. If you fall in, it's just water.
Yeah. So there's no other aspects I have to avoid in the air or think about when I go and that sort of thing. So there's too many variables. Like if I have to think about a slippery takeoff and then ducking under a wire and then kind of landing on something that may fall, then that's like too many things in that level of sketch. I'm like, I'm good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get you. People are flooding in with questions.
Yeah. We're successful. We're making it. Daddy, we made it. What trick took longest to learn?
Corks took a long time for me.
Corks.
And I had them and then I didn't have them and now I lost them again.
Same answer.
Yeah, didn't you like at one point, and it was only like 1 or 2 years ago, Dom, you were just like, oh yeah, I gotta like dial in my corks, like get them again.
Start of this year or end of last year. I have them now, but I haven't been drilling them because my goal is to get double cork on flat before I die. You know, and that could be any day. So,
oh yeah.
With the way the world is going now, I could be dying any day.
Mm-hmm.
Could be from the height drops or the COVID. You know, take your pick.
There's a question that you guys may have some insight into, and it's basically advice for someone getting bored of parkour and is plateauing or burning out.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, I personally don't really experience that very often, and if I do, it's more like, oh, I messed up my muscles so much that I can't train. I hate moving, not like I hate parkour, or like I'm like losing spark for it.
Have
But
you
I think
seen it?
I've seen it heaps.
Yeah.
All the time. I mean, we have one of the highest turnover of athletes of any sport ever, because there's no like structure or class or like routine that you have to.
I've seen people get amazingly good at the sport and just leave because they got bored. It's crazy.
I like cameras now. Yeah, Joey Wells, I'm looking at you.
Ooh.
His skateboards too. That's traitorous. I saw Joe Scandron on a skateboard and I messaged him like, "You are scum."
What do you mean? You have two
But
skateboards.
no, you can only parkour.
Oh,
no,
only parkour.
nothing else. No other passions. Don't you even dabble in other shit. Only parkour every day.
Yep, that's one. That is the one.
Every day. Every day.
All right. Apart from the fact that you're a freak that that never loses the love of the sport, what would you suggest?
How would you go about it? I would suggest completely switching the style of training. So if you train if you only do jumps, go and do flips every day for a month only, or go completely switch up the things you're doing, or try things that are like parkour, because a lot of my friends like to do hiking, cliff jumping, rope swings, slacklining. Even some friends of mine do cliff slacklining, which is where you climb up a cliff and then set up your rigging and then slackline with harnesses across I
believe it's called highlining, but not
highlining.
Not to be that guy right now.
Look, man, highlining. Yeah. Yeah, so I would say that's my view. What about you?
Try something new, out of your comfort zone. I guess basically the same point.
Yeah,
I believe that as well.
It's hard because my hunger is just lies in progressing as well. So if you progress really quickly in parkour, then maybe you're finding it less engaging. So maybe working on another variable will make it more challenging for you. I suck at swings, but I have never had to fully flip up my training schedule where I only do swings because of my passion or injury or anything like that. So I just continue to suck at swings. But if I was you, I would just go and swing until I had no more hands, and then swing again.
Fun. Tear some calluses.
If you're finding things too easy, just either take it higher and push yourself more on the mental side.
Well, I don't think it's a case that he's finding it too easy, because he's talking about plateauing.
So that's why
I mean, just learning new things, I think, is the best.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. Double question. Are you guys ever going to NYC? And what are your nationalities? Wow. Insight.
Yes, as soon as people stop being contagious.
Does NYC have good parkour though?
Yeah, as in athletes, community.
No, spots.
Oh, haha, yes, a few, enough.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's definitely if I've seen the videos and there's plenty around. It's just personally, I only got to see a few of them because I was there for such a small amount of time. New York City.
Well, I'm happy to go everywhere and anywhere. I don't really have I want to go to Germany. I do want to go to New York City. I do want to go all over America. I want to go everywhere. I'll end up everywhere at some point. Just
and then
traveling.
My nachos, I have Italian background, but I'm English and Australian mostly, with some Welsh and German and Irish dabbled in there.
Ta-da.
Wow.
I'm born in Australia, partly Iraqi, a little bit Indian, a little bit Russian. That's basically it. Weird mix.
Indian, It doesn't even matter.
Wow, that was like really terrible. That was a bad pun. That was just a bad pun.
Nah, man, puns are super good. That was like, as far as puns go, that was top notch. Joke wise, awful.
Where
That's what I heard.
Where did you guys meet? How did you guys meet?
So I like
teaching?
saw him across the room and our eyes met.
Oh,
And I
that's so
I liked
sweet.
parkour. And so I walked over with a drink and I said, "Hey, do you want a drink?" He said, "Nah, I don't drink because I do parkour." And I said, "Oh my God, let's go do parkour." And then we frolicked into the dandelions doing parkour. No,
So you were teaching him?
We met at Apes, but sort of got pushed closer and closer together because I was sort of pushing a bit in the community, and one of Dom's good friends, Mark's, basically
Master Marks.
put us together and introduced us.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, well, I'd heard Ish recommend Ish used to just go on like, KHEDOORI's the future of Sydney parkour." So I was like, "Well, that's a lot of responsibility to put on someone, man." It's like, well, but then Marks and Nick were training with KHEDOORI quite regularly, and like this was after the period of time I'd be coming back and training with just them because there was nobody like that active at the time. And then they were like, "Bro, this guy, you should train with this guy." And then we had a few sessions together, and KHEDOORI was like pretty open about wanting to learn how to like conquer the mental stuff. He was like, "I want to learn how to switch shit to outside and like do the stuff that I can do in the gym out there." And I was like, "All right, we can fucking do that." And now he's like doing some of the most mentally taxing shit all the time. So I think that definitely worked. Like we just bounce off each other when it comes to the push, the progression. He's very driven, which is cool. Especially, I don't see that many younger athletes. A lot of younger athletes, especially his age, like 18, 19, is when they start to go, "You know what? I'm gonna live life a little bit more and experiment with like the jobs and the girlfriends." And I don't know why I'm American now. But but that's and then that's where a lot of the turnover of athletes is during that age group. So the fact that he's like hungry now is cool, I think. Personally.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, you want to take some more questions, or you want to get out of here?
Let's we'll extend it a little bit because we're having good reception. I think it's nice to people if they're making the effort to ask a question and watch the show.
All right, I'm gonna start this question off and ask it at the same point.
However that works.
Hey guys, I want to hear your opinion on the Rockapino Scotto and his latest record. I don't know who that is.
Neither. I don't know.
That I wasn't actually going to. It's actually the question above that, which is, what's your stance on the less legal side of parkour, trespassing and whatnot? What I'm going to say there is, if you're going to do the less legal side of things, don't vlog about it. Just do your thing.
Then you're not like, why do you even do it if you don't record it?
Did it even happen?
If you don't post it on the internet, did you even do it? What are you saying, Jarran? What are you saying? Nah, I mean, for me personally, I don't like to do it, but like if the spot is fucking like calling my name, or I know it's something, or I'm not in Australia, then hell yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
That's the main one. I think when you're at home, there's a lot more legal ramifications that you can't really blow off. Like, I'm just a tourist and I didn't know better. People like, yeah, you're 28 and you've been living here your whole life. You should know better. So we're going to give you a fine. So like here, I'm way hesitant. And me and him like hate doing it. It's stressful because it's not as enjoyable to train because you're worried about it the whole time.
You can't go on a rooftop in Australia. Like
Sydney.
But it's almost impossible without getting something done to something.
Yeah. Like we have a high, security state where it's like, there's a lot of
people will call for anything.
And there's a lot of video cameras everywhere and like alarm and security systems and that sort of thing. Plus corrugated iron roofing. So there's
oh my God, that sucks.
Yeah. We don't have good roofs. Don't come here to do roof jumps. We don't have any.
All right, well, explain corrugated. I'll explain corrugated roofing. It's this. You just wavy bits of iron for roofs. So
Yeah, but
ankle
the iron
depth.
is, how thick is the iron, Jarran?
Oh, sorry, not very. Not very
I'd say
thick.
maybe it's like
It's
the
the Red
thickness.
Bull
It's the
can.
thickness of these tweezers. Yeah, the Red Bull can.
The Red Bull can.
It's like if someone
that
got the Red Bull
thick.
can and laid it out, like and they're like, oh yeah, we'll just put this on the roof and hope that nothing falls in. Like it's made for holding liquid, not holding people up.
You'll go straight through it with how much impact. You just die.
Yeah. Harry asked, "Hey Harry, how you doing, mate? Good to hear from you. Hope you're well." He asked, "What are all the sports you're taking part in, Dom?" But I'm gonna put this question to you first. Just list your sports, and then Jarran, you gotta list your sports too. Over.
Tennis, soccer, skiing, fencing.
Oh, I did fencing too.
Oh no way! Parkour. Oh. Is that it?
You didn't talk about your skiing. You didn't talk about your skiing, bro.
No, yeah, I did a little bit. I did ski.
Your telemarketing skiing.
Oh yeah, two different types of skiing: normal skiing, telemarketing.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
Bam. What did I do? I've done inline skateboarding, downhill skateboarding. Watch out.
Ooh.
Oh, it's like skateboarding but down a hill. I don't know. I trained a lot of different sports, like for stunts, but probably say I did a fair bit of BMX. I did the motorbike riding, where you ride on the motorbikes. But I guess I even took up parkour at some point. Do you remember what I did? Because I don't.
Nah.
Yeah, I just did a whole bunch of stuff. I do everything kind of on a very surf.
Top three sports you did dedicatedly. Like, what were the ones you did the most?
It would probably be parkour, jiu-jitsu, and now yoga. Yoga. Getting
What about
the
your top three?
yogas.
Skiing, tennis, parkour. Those are the ones that I got pushed the most into.
Okay. For me, because Harry asked me specifically because he's a fanboy, he didn't care about the rest of the people on the podcast. That's why you had to sit through that. I did rollerblading, then I did rock climbing, then I did fencing, I did Irish dancing, I did figure skating, then I did ballet, strength and conditioning training for figure skating, which was like personal training, I guess. And then I did like soccer, rugby, athletics, gymnastics. I did gymnastics pretty seriously, like 4 or 5 years.
Oh, really? Did you do that a lot? Were you like, yeah?
Yeah, no, it's one hand, bro. One hand.
Oh, is it? Man, I'm wondering how, like, politically correct people haven't.
You have to raise it all the way up. That's the.
Otherwise, they're like, not only have you failed, like, you have problems now.
You desecrated a people. Yeah, and then I did all styles of dance as well, if that counts as sport. And then I did.
Well, that's where you like did all your.
Oh, I did swimming too, but I can't do that anymore. And I did surfing. Yeah, I did surfing for like 2 years, and then I didn't like it because I kept feeling like I was drowning.
Because you kept screwing up.
I'm a land animal, guys. I've decided I'm no longer amphibious. I was once amphibious, no more.
Yeah.
I'm as a land mammal.
I don't
like the water.
I don't fuck with the water either. Like, give me a mountain. I'll climb
Now
the
I
mountain.
look at sharks and I'm actually scared. I used to be like, I'd just punch a shark in the nose. I'd be worried about drowning too much. That shark would just eat me. Be like, that guy can't swim. I'm not going in the water. No, sir. Monsters in there.
Oh, death.
Oh,
Death in all ways, shape, and form.
Later, Jarran, that reminds me. Sorry,
What?
people. Andy, I'll tell you a story about a job later as well.
Oh my god.
Okay. We go down. I think
we're fairly done.
Cool. No one commented if they were a side back or front flip.
No, they did.
Okay.
You gotta go up. Where did it start? We got lots
I'm
of
a cartwheeler. I can't do no flips. Yes, bro. I respect. I'm a backflipper. Dom, can you list all the sports you've taken like that? That was that one. Yeah. Biggest jump you've done without shoes on. Last one. Into sand. Big drop. Onto a wall. Maybe 8 foot.
I don't know. I haven't done many big jumps at all without my shoes on.
Who is the biggest barefoot guy? Like
I did. I took.
There isn't one I know of currently, but the old one was Benton from Melbourne.
Yeah, right.
Heard a bunch, but I took almost a story drop in barefoot.
Gross. That must have felt like a slap.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
It was not pretty.
Yeah, Benton was the man, bro. Benton trained for years with bare feet. He had like callousy bottom of his feet. It was amazing. And he could do like proper, like the same level of parkour barefoot that people were doing with shoes on like any surface. It was crazy. You just carry your shoes around and then just be barefoot everywhere. I mean, I recommend it, man. I reckon you'd be super. It's like one of those superhuman things that take a while to train, but then once you could do it, you don't even need a pair of shoes to do parkour. You could just like go out naked and do parkour. You'd be like the ultimate resource of a human body.
Wow, you'd be Tim Sheaf.
Yeah. Well, you have to wear a mask on your crotch to be Tim Sheaf.
Yeah, obviously.
All right. Well, I think that pretty much wraps us up. Yeah. Thank you for coming over and talking to the people.
Hi, people.
To the people.
Thanks, guys.
33 this week on the live. That's pretty good. Last time it was 14. Double the viewership. KHEDOORI bringing in the hot fans.
Watch out. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you soon.
Oh, yeah. One last thing. This week I will be releasing... I can just bring it up so I can tell. What's next? I've already released that. Oh, we're doing... Yeah, it's Rockdale. So, good budget training session. Haven't decided on the name yet. With a bunch of people, and then the weekend a sick session at Balmoral with a nice Middlehead sunset. So that'll be good.
That's a cool video.
Yeah, excited for that one. I've definitely been putting more effort in with the videos, so I would appreciate if anyone here isn't subscribed, punch subscribe, do it.
I will give you props. Your videos are sucking less. Yes. No, like the quality, and you said it was the camera, but I don't know. They look like better.
Thank you.
They're a lot well edited, like much better edited, I think.
I put a lot more effort in. Just instead of going over it once, I go over it 4 times. So they're probably 4 times as better.
Ooh.
Oh, 4 times as good. All right, we out. Cheers, guys.
Wow.